Hi. Oh, everybody's like locked down now. Um, it's not so bad. If you're a caretaker, you know we kind of live that way anyway. um, I always get alcohol by the case and stuff like that. Um, we've been doing pretty good. I just left my dad to watch some movies, and I volunteer at a farm a little far, not too far from my house. A little far. That didn't come out right. But not too far from my house. And I'm going up in the back because they planted, I think it's salad greens, and down in one of the hoop houses is spinach. So I brought the dogs, and hang on a second, I'll switch over so that you can see them. I think it's going now. That's them. The brown one here is Gigi, and that one is Cindy. So I'll switch. Okay. I just got a new phone, so I'm still trying to figure out what it can do. So I brought some water. I didn't bring very much, but he only did a little bit in the back corner. So what I'll do is show you around here. Hooey. I haven't had the walk up here for a while, so I've been riding a stationary bike, but it's not like walking through fields and all that stuff. And it's not really that far because we're here already. We open the door. This place, it's kind of like when I was little, this was just part of our life. This is inside the greenhouse. See? How's that? Pretty empty. All what's hanging, that's usually tomatoes. I brought some water. So we've been up here cleaning up. And because even though people are, I have to get one of those sticks so it's farther away. That's better. He's the manager up here is Steve. You will meet him eventually. And this is in the back corner. He said back corner. I don't know how far down. It looks like the whole thing was done, but hey, I don't know. But because the farm is it's like you're outside, so keeping better distance than some people I've seen. Oh, some things have like actually tortured me to see. Oh. All right, I brought some water, but there's more stuff. Oh, let's see. There is some. I don't see them anyway. That's all right. I gave it some water. They're just the seeds, so they don't have to be soaking wet, but they should be kept somewhat like damp-ish. So that's what we did. So I decided to. This is like a new channel that I've been told for years and years and years that I should do. So I'm not very good at this yet. I'll get better. If somebody can tell me why when I do, I mean, I have a really good phone, but if on my computer and everything, the picture looks really good, but when I upload it, it looks like all, like somebody's on a bad acid trip or something. So I don't know what that's from, but I'm sure I will figure it out at some point and get better at this. But we were watching, it's Sunday, so we were watching classic movies because all week we've been watching Poldark, which I am like, I can't believe that I have never heard of anybody talk about this. But my nasty sister, I said, oh, I've got a good one for you. She said, oh yeah, we watched that already. Yeah, why don't you tell me? Oh, It's so good. Anyway, but my dad is 98. Wait a minute. Yeah, he's 98. So he's gotten into period dramas. The thing is, he's, for all intents and purposes, deaf. So he doesn't really hear, so everything's with the captioning. And he gets doing something and he misses a lot of the captions. Or he takes a nap and he's like, I like it. I think he likes the costuming. He gets some of the story and he kind of fills in the rest. It's kind of funny because he fills it in. That if he doesn't know what's going on, it'd be like, oh yeah, they were running because they were locked up in prison. I'm like, where did that come from? Oh my goodness. But today, I'm really good at that. Like, I'll be like talking about one thing and whoops. Yeah. So, but we watched To Kill a Mockingbird. And he says, oh, that was really good. So I know he'd seen it before. So I said, oh, classics. We'll get him on classic stories. Because he's like Disney dad. He doesn't like anything that's like where they swear. Oh God, if they swear, I get like, shush. I wish there was a button that I could like, and it wouldn't work because he's like watching captioning. And they actually spell it out on captioning. It's not even like little stars, but oh, it's cold out. That anyway, we watched that one. And I said, let's watch Of Mice and Men. And I've seen it many times. But this one, it particularly hit me. I don't know why. It's been about a year. In fact, it'll be the 30th this month that my mother passed away. And I'll tell you more about her later because she's the big reason why people told me I should do this series, this tube channel thing. But, wow. Since if you're watching this, you're probably a caretaker. And when somebody is not a child, but somebody totally dependent on you, that is forever. But somebody someone who's older, like Lenny, that they should be making their own way and stuff, but they're still relying on you for everything. It's tough. I never thought of it as being tough, but once in a while I'll watch a movie or something and it hits me, so that one hit me. But that's okay. I actually cried, but that's okay. My sister says I'm still in decompression. I could be, but I don't know. So the good thing is I had to come up in water. This farm here is a city farm, and let me show you. I have to start doing this on my phone so that I can see what I'm showing you. This is down one walkway. This is one of the newer, well, it's not new really, but this is one of the most recent fields. This property was a farm, and how many years ago? It was quite a few years ago that it was sold to the city. Big long story. But I grew up like 2-3 houses down, and went to school with the grandchildren of the people who own this place. It was a dairy farm, and long story short, the city bought it, and they put a farm up here. There was a tree farm for the city too, but it was hard to find somebody that could consistently take care of it. So for years, that's what I've been doing. Is I started before my mom was bedridden. I came up and I volunteer. There was the first year I ever volunteered here. I wanted to do 1 day a week, and I went from 1 day for like 2 hours. Then I went 1 day, 4 hours. Then I was here twice a week. I ended up here every morning from 10 to 2. Not set hours, but I had to go back at 2 o'clock to make lunch because my parents, they get up late. My dad still gets up late. No reason, just because they're old, get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. They're like, what is there to do at 6 o'clock in the morning that you can't do in the afternoon? So that's what they did. So breakfast is at 10. Lunch is 2 to 2:30. Dinner is around 6:30. And then there's snack or such 9:30, 10 o'clock with pills and all that. So it works out pretty well. Right now my dad's at home coloring. More on that another day. But he's happy. He's watching some competition on the Food Channel right now. So, and I wanted to get the dogs out to walk because we're in the middle of this lockdown thing. In fact, I just heard a thing from the governor that they're not completely locking people down, but we've been doing this long enough that we know we have to be far ahead of the curve. So I did. As soon as I heard that the virus went out of China, I ordered alcohol. I ordered a case. And I'm not worried about toilet paper. From my mom, I still have cases of the wipes. Not the wet ones, but they're like that, what are they called? I used to know the name of them. The little blue thing. Anyway, we could use them for toilet paper because I've got 3 cases of them. And I'm not going to use them. I've tried to give them away. They're not really good for puppy pads, or I would give them to like the pound. But they're kind of thin. They're on the thinner side because the heavier ones gave her rashes. So I got the thin ones. Changed them more often. But they're really soft, so they would work. So that is one thing that if you're a caretaker, I got to tell you, which is what made me think of this, to do this today. We already have a lot of stuff in storage. Other caretakers I know have called me and they've said what they have. If you know anybody else who is a caretaker at home, if you're missing something, call them, because we tend to buy in bulk. And there's a lot of things. I was fortunate. I looked into something that a store was going out, not out of business, but they were closing one location. And the store manager told me they were having a really good sale. So I stocked up my freezer with fish. Some vegetables, but most of it was fish. And it was like 50% off. It was really a good deal. So I'm not worried about protein. We've got plenty of protein. And vegetables, well, I live next to a farm, and everybody says that, but like nothing's growing now. They're just putting plants, they're not even plants, seeds in the ground, and it's too chilly for them to do anything. But for my dad, he's on a low salt diet, so I try to stay away from cans. So we've got enough of that, enough. I'm good for vegetables for a month. So after that, some of the spring stuff should be coming up. So if you can, this is a good time, depending on where you are. plant some of those like leaf lettuces. You could probably get away with the radishes too. Spinach, things like that. Just a little spot. If it's still chilly, throw some hay or some leaves on top of it just to keep it from like getting frozen. But I think what I would probably do is put like plastic, water it, put some plastic down, or a piece of glass window, something like that, and it would let the heat go through. And then when it gets warm, you could just pick the glass or the plastic up and not have to worry about raking up all this other stuff you put on there. So here we are, we're into the main field. Ding. Let's see if I can switch. Yay. It did work. So there's the girls. Here's the bees. You'll see this place much more. There's the bees. If you're stuck at home, I guess this would be a nice little walk for you. And there's the shed. And the hoop house behind there, we call that the greenhouse. Why? Who knows? Because that is the hoop house. And the one that I just watered is the hoop house. But this one, I think, is because when things get started, that they do actually have a lot of seedlings and stuff that we do start out in here. So let me switch this around. There we go. And looking rather fetching today, huh? Actually, I'm looking pretty ratted out. Let's see. Yeah, everything is locked up here still. Seeds are usually started down at City Park. There's a little greenhouse there. I don't know what they used it for, but they did get permission to start seeds there. So I didn't get the notice, and it was around, I'm losing track of time. I'm trying to think of when it might be. They should have started probably a couple weeks ago. So it was probably in the midst of the, we don't know what's going on. So I don't know if things were started or not. I have some started at my house. Because of the farm here, I basically grow herbs. I have a pot, a tomato pot, and scallions and herbs, a lot of herbs. But here we are. We are in Oz. This is like walking from here. Whoops. I opened the wrong side. Let me pause this if I can. Shit. Well, that sucked too. Okay. Okay. So, here we'll go here from Oz. Well, from Kansas. This is like Kansas. Then we open the door and go into Oz. This is the greenhouse. Yay! And this is my trap. It's set, but nothing's in it. So something wandered through. So, but this is spinach. And it's probably, damage here. But that's alright. I'll get it up. I gotta bring some ties. So, but pretty nice. Pretty nice. So if you happen to have a greenhouse, it works really nice. You have the sides open even. I have been coming up and only closing them now when it's been forecasted to be like really cold overnight. So there we go. So, and a robin. I have my glasses on, but what is it? Oh, that flew away. Oh well. But here we go. Nice. So I'm very fortunate to live where I do. Very fortunate to live where I do. Not very far when they're open. Like I live in this kind of stuff. But if you go like a quarter of a mile down the street, there's like a little bend in the road. Go around the bend. Guess what? It's like one of the busiest streets in the city, and everything. There's like restaurants and shops and stores and everything. There is everything. So I don't know, but I think that will probably be enough because I'm starting to get cold. Really starting to get cold, and I want to go up and grab some ties and fix that support in the greenhouse. That's another one for tomatoes. In the summer, there's tomatoes inside the hoops because most things don't need it that warm. The tomatoes like it warm. It extends their season, and also it keeps them from getting so much blight. The ones that are outside get a lot of blight because it carries in the wind. It's in the ground, but it carries in the wind. The ones inside the hoops do get blight, but it's not bad. It's really not bad at all. So, and it's almost like it gets less all the time. So that's about it for today. And if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Please subscribe so that I can go on. The next video I want to do, and I've been thinking about, is low salt. If you have to do the low salt diet, I have a lot of substitutions. Not just the garlic, onion powder, which is what they tell you. Is very, very little of that light salt stuff. In fact, I'll show you that. But I have so much stuff for low salt. It's incredible. So I hope you're all having a good day, and you're staying home, and you're being safe and healthy. Wash your hands like we never do, but wash your hands again. Even when you don't think of it, wash your hands. Because the last thing you want to do is to get some other crazy sickness and have to go to the hospital. So even if I'm home and I'm not going to get corona, I'm still making sure that I'm not catching something else. So have a good one, everybody, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.